What's up guys, Wonderboy here. I hope you're all having a tremendous day. Today we're going to be watching back some of the highlights and the most watched clips from the recent Dreamhack Anaheim Halo Reach tournament. It was the first tournament on PC for Halo. It was Halo Reach, and honestly I didn't get to watch as much of the tournament as I would have liked, but the plus side of that is you guys get to watch me react to some of the best clips, whether they are funnies, whether they are sick clips, and I can maybe dissect a few of them down for you guys as well. So I'm looking forward to it. Let's jump straight into it. Let's get going. All right, let's play the first clip.
To make sure this clause is blocked, because this is the biggest opportunity that RBG Esports is going to have. Boo Boo not missing a shot, winning everybody he can. He's going to be pushed by Gabriel in this game.
It's a pretty close game
right now. Boo Boo staying alive in the closet. Oh, unbelievable job.
Look at Boo Boo double kill, killing spree. Can he pick up the third triple kill now? And they have secured the game win here. Oh my, an Exterm as well. And they've got a lot to get excited about as they win game number 1. 250 to 223, and Boo Boo Doo putting on a show.
Okay, Boo Boo, I see you. That's a great call from Brav and Clutch, really. I mean, the second shot for me is probably the pick of the bunch. This one right here. I mean, this one is not easy.
Unbelievable job.
So tough when you're just switching back to your sniper after switching out to unscope yourself. Really tough to do, especially to zone in your target just like that. So yeah, a good clip from Boo Boo. Very impressive. I like that. I like that a lot.
Secured the game win here.
It's a nice shot, and dude, the scream from Clutch just says it all. Just listen to this.
The game win here.
All right, let's keep it rolling. Second clip coming up.
It's a wash, 3-0.
Countdown was close.
Blowouts. Stop.
Countdown was respectable.
Stop.
I will say that, you know, the start, at least for Minotaurs, we countdown. Munoz had some.
The start was great.
Some great signs of life. He had camo control. He almost made a play with the rocket.
Fantastic start. And I'm not trying to be hard on the Minotaurs guys. Those guys.
See, a lot of people think Wes or Clutch is kind of a douchebag, but to be honest with you, he's not wrong in most of the stuff that he's saying. Like, oftentimes he won't sugarcoat things. That's why I really actually like Wes as an analyst. You don't want analysts to be wishy-washy. Too many analysts coming into esports want to try and be yes man and trying to avoid offending some of the people that they're commenting over. And I think Wes probably has the most scope to be brutally honest, because he has won a tournament in the past, has won a world championship with CLG, albeit on the coaching side of things, but he still has that level of critical analysis. He knows what it takes to perform at that level, and if people aren't getting it done, he's probably the best person really to say these things. And you wouldn't want someone like me who hasn't performed at the top level. Like, I couldn't get away with being this brutally honest. I try and, you know, look for the plus sides here and there. It's like this in professional sports. You have the very critical people, and that's what drives conversation. That's what, you know, actually brings the best out of an analysis panel. So some of you guys might not like it, but I honestly think Wes is probably one of the strongest analysts we have in Halo. And also check out this swag, by the way, the black on black. I like it, and he sort of looks like he's, you know, kicking back with some sweatpants and watching this with a beer, and that's fair enough. But the black on black, Wes, nice look.
These guys are my boys, and they know I got a lot of love for them, but they didn't perform how they wanted to. They didn't perform how I wanted them to, and they're going exactly where they should be, back to the hotel to probably have a good time tonight, because their tournament is over.
Ouch. That's it. Their time on the island has ended.
I mean, it's brutally honest, right? It's good. I would say as well that Wes probably plays with most of these players as well, so he kind of knows who these guys are. He knows that they won't take this kind of stuff to heart, and they know who he is as a person. And Wes is the type of person to actually say it to their face as well. So I don't think Wes is just, you know, that douchebag who isn't gonna go up and say it to them afterwards, because probably he will when he's playing with them online.
Neither do I. I'd like to hear from somebody from the team.
It's not gonna happen. Unfortunate, no one's here. It's not gonna happen.
Unfortunately, they are so busy prepping for the next match that I cannot invite them on for an interview.
See, I've worked on Dreamhacks in the past where we invite players up on the desk and they walk past the camera. Overall, I don't like how it works, especially when you have, and this is no disrespect to Shyway, but an inexperienced host who is always expecting your stage manager to have that player ready. And if the communication line isn't there to the host, he's going to be like, right, well, let's bring on the interview, assuming it's going to be ready. And in this instance, it's not, which makes the show look silly. It makes the host look like he's been thrown under the bus by production, which in this case he has. But ultimately, as a host, you never really want to be throwing to something that you don't 100% know is there, because otherwise it's just going to make everyone panic, and it's not going to work out. And that's one of the unfortunate things that happened in this instance. But I think Shiloh's played it off quite well here, to be honest with you. I mean, he's swiftly moved on from it.
We're just going to have to go into that next match. We'll be right back with that match very soon. Stay tuned, guys. More Halo coming up.
Yeah, that's a good throw. I mean, he recovered from it well.
He's gonna need to slay. There's a player, his jump up. He's able to get him to no shield, does trade the kill, but who on Sentinels is getting a touch? It's gotta be up to Rule 2. He sees 3 red X's. He's also getting beamed across the map.
Oh
and
my
Oh my.
Yeah. Triple kill from Falcated. Does he hit the
Oh,
overkill?
come on,
No, he's gonna wait.
dude.
Get away out of
Ah, you gotta hit those. Come on, Falcated. Dude, that was sick, though. It's such a shame we didn't get to see that from Falcated's point of view, but from what I've heard, this event, Mantra just steamrolled over everyone and looked like a completely different beast. And Falcated's one of those players, man, that throughout Halo 5 looked like he could be a potential world beater one day. I mean, I remember back when he used to play with Shotzi, and he was almost overshadowed by Shotzi on previous rosters. So it's good to see Falcated actually step up, and obviously he was a big contributing factor as to why these guys won the event in the end. I mean, just look at this. I mean, what are you supposed to do if you're Sentinels, right? And you're trying to push forward to get a touch on a flag that's about to die when you've got like what 3 minutes 40 seconds left on the clock, and then this happens.
He's also getting beamed across the map. And
my
that's a
what?
God.
triple kill from Falcated. Does he hit the overkill?
And that's a great call again from Andy. I mean, the growl on that man's voice is something different.
Renegade will fall and transfer sniper to the hands of the blue team. Time is of the essence, though.
Dude, he lived.
Did he?
What?
I didn't notice it.
Oh my! Yo, watch this again. I mean, it's pretty obvious as to what's happened. Let's actually slow this down. Goofy throws the grenade. This is the worst noise in the world. Goofy throws the grenade. Saiyan shoots it and it explodes instantly on his face. That's so unfortunate. I mean, luckily Saiyan at this point is up by a decent amount. If you're on the losing end of this game and that happens, you're sort of thrown in the towel at that point. That was kind of crazy.
Ola has this so far in the rocks. Now what they need to do though, Incognito needs to not stop yet.
Dude,
Their goal.
that little hesitation right there, I'm going to come back to. I want to watch this clip play out first, but I feel like that hesitation.
Flag all the way on their half of the map, maybe towards their hut or towards the ramp.
We'll see what happens.
Slay. So if they're in doubt right here, if they feel like any risk of dying, Ola needs to stop this and slay. 2 of his members down, he needs to drop this and get some kills. This is not a very beneficial move at the moment for Ola and the Incognito roster.
So while she honestly might be one of the best analytical minds that we have in Halo at the moment, I haven't seen this clip play out yet. I want to see the rest of it play out, but he's absolutely right in that the tiny hesitation by Pistola is what's caused this hesitation, I want to say. And honestly, it could lead to them not getting this flag cap, which honestly really should be a flag cap because of how far they got it with the map control that they had. So I mean, Washley's absolutely right. He needs to drop and put damage down for his spawners to come up. Instead, he's holding the flag here. No doubt we'll see what happens in a second.
Surprised he hasn't just run it in yet.
That's a desperate play if he goes for it. He's now revealing that in a position where his teammates are going to die if they have to touch that flag.
He's going for it.
Ola
He's going
just
for it.
tried
Doesn't
the
get it.
wizard
His
move.
teammates are
It's
there.
that hesitation.
Where are they? Will they run this one? Renegades is there. They know that they're all playing around the rocks. There's several members. He's going to get it. They throw in a second member.
No.
There's 2 seconds. They have to get this one in, but it's flag out. The overtime will go down. And they're going to defend this one.
So let's actually go back to that minute hesitation that
Incognito needs to
while
not
she
stop
was talking about. It's this one right here. I mean, Ola obviously has got some communication saying, hey, there's a guy weak in the base. Let's try and finish him off before we start running this flag to make it guaranteed, which is fair enough, right?
Now what they need to do though, Incognito needs to not stop yet.
But while she's absolutely right, because that minute hesitation for a second or so was essentially the difference between the flag going in the end for Incognito and them losing the game in the end to Sentinels. So while she's absolutely right, I mean, it's that foresight that you have when you have a team like Sentinels, previously Tox, previously Optic, previously CLG. They're not going to miss a beat. They're not going to miss a step. They're not going to waste any time to push across the map and try and pressure the flag carrier as soon as he is in a position to try and put the flag in. And in the end, it's this hesitation, not just here from Pistola, against Ola. Again, hindsight's 2020 here, you can't really blame him, but also when he's holding the flag in the base as well, if he's going to do this, throw it on the spot a little bit earlier. I know he wants to try and bide a bit of time for his teammates and spawners to come up on the map and maybe give him some backup, but you know Sentinels are going to have map control. All your teammates are dead. I mean, you can see the 3 red X's on your screen right here. Why not throw it down? Why not at least see where Sentinels are on the map? Maybe try and catch them off guard. I don't know. It was a strange play from Ola, and honestly, a really good call from Walshy, to be honest with you. Okay, so I know this isn't a fun clip or anything, but I want to absolutely applaud Dreamhack for this lower third right here. Just saying the login problems with Xbox Live, obviously it's not ideal, but for me, one of the most paramount things that you can do to try and alleviate these downtimes, not only fill it with content, but also explain and be point blank with the viewer and the spectator exactly what is happening and why the delay is happening. The worst thing you can do is keep them in the dark, and it's something that I stressed at almost every single event that I was at. You have to be upfront about the issues. If it's login issues, tell them. If it's headset issues, just be frank and be upfront with the viewer. So credit to Dreamhack here. This was a fantastic move.
Hello and welcome to the Dreamhack Anaheim Halo Championship, where the top teams in Halo Reach face off for their share of a $50,000 prize pool. Not only that, this is the first ever Halo event on PC, the first event of the year and the beginning of a new era in Halo esports. My name is Alexander Hope.
Dude, that's a clean intro right there from Shyway. I know he's inexperienced as a host. Has only done, what, a couple of live event shows before, and I know you guys can say, oh, but he hosts HCS Weekly. I know that, but hosting an online talk show is way different than a live event. Credit to Shyway here, because this is a higher energy intro. It sets the tone of the entire event. It really builds you up and tells you exactly what's happening. And credit to this man, because it's not an easy job to step in and host a desk like this, especially if you don't really know what's going on from a viewer standpoint. It looks easy. You stand there, you put that headset on and you talk, but it's nowhere near that simple. You have conversation to drive, you have sponsors to hit, you have guests to look out for, you have show items to talk over, you have producers, directors, stage managers all in your ear, and this man right here has absolutely nailed that intro. From what I've seen so far, very impressed by my man Shyway. Very good.
And your son's favorite caster is going to be me. Your son's favorite caster is not going to be Sims, it is going to be Walshy. Uncle Walshy.
I mean, it could be Golden Boy, so I'll take that. Oh, God, we always dog on him. He's not even here. I feel so bad. Oh, I miss you, Alex. If you're out there, we miss you, brother. Flag's already going to be out. Spoke about toys. We got.
Okay, this is something that actually kind of bugs me about watching Halo commentary nowadays, is that I'm all for a bit of banter and trying to get personalities across, right? But seems like when you have a series that's 2-1 and the game itself is tied 1-1 and there's important things happening in front of you, you really shouldn't be commenting on commentators who aren't there. It seems like a bit of a cop-out for me. And I love Sims and Walshy. I think they're a great pairing, but ultimately there's a time and a place for it. In between games, if you run out of things to talk about and there's a bit of a delay, sure, but going into Infinite, we really can't be looking back over previous Halos, previous years, and rehashing the same old anecdotes and the same old stories going on. And this is probably not a good example of it, and I'm probably being really harsh on these two, which I apologize if that's the case, but it's bugged me a lot watching these Halo events from home where there's really high level Halo happening in front of your eyes, and we're talking about something that happened 10 years ago, or talking about casters who aren't at the event. It's a little disappointing for me.
3-1.
Here's the thing, is if I was, you know, if I had to answer 3-1 on an exam, I would go to the professor and I would say, no, I technically had 3-1. Yeah, sure, I had the wrong team. But look, I had 3-1. I'm showing my work here. I said that.
Dude, frickin' Zane is such a joker. Respect, Penguin, Dead Zone, Sub-Zero, whatever we're calling you nowadays. I hope in Infinite we get the chance to really highlight some of these player personalities, because Dead Zone's a funny guy, man. You saw him goofing around there in the background. I hope that's something we get to see more of and is highlighted in Infinite, because I feel like a lot of people don't know a lot of personalities that came through in Halo 5, and if people are just returning to the scene, they don't know people like Penguin. So, excuse me, Dead Zone, Sub-Zero.
How they're only able to just trade kills out, and even in advantageous positions. Somehow Shelly gets a melee on a trippy there.
I mean, that sucks. You don't like to see ghost melees at all. It sucks that it happens on LAN, but I think a lot of people have a lot of misconceptions about ghost beatdowns. Again, yes, it sucks that it happens. Shouldn't happen. coming back to Ghost Beatdowns, people say, oh, this only happens in 343 Halos. Like, did you not play Halo 2? Dude, Halo 2 had the worst Ghost Beatdowns. Even Halo 3 had the worst Ghost Beatdowns, like, ever. It's just part and parcel of Halo. You have to expect it for it to happen. Until we get a better beatdown system, these old titles are just constantly going to be, you know, ridiculed and haven't aged well, and this is one of those cases, as it was with Halo 3. Happened in Halo 5 again, but hopefully the new engine can maybe, you know, put to bed some of these Ghost Beatdown issues.
The major angle that these players get going from, it doesn't seem like Saiyan or Renegade are ready from anything coming from Gold, and here comes the Gold push like I talked about. Lethal trying to push in.
Dude, if they pull this off.
5 seconds left. Oh my
wow.
God. Cross the Clutch Team Sentinels lose it at the final hill.
Dude, Ola is a wizard, man. Ola is an absolute wizard. This play right here, I mean, yes, he already has 2 kills to his name, but to have the experience to dip out of the hill with this amount of time left on the clock, 4 seconds, you're down by 1, trusting your teammate to stay alive in the hill and just taking that extra angle and step outside to get the kill to make it sure is so experienced, and Ola essentially won them the game with this play. Very, very, very nice.
I know I am.
What about you boys? I'm ready for a beer. You've got ID. We can buy you a beer finally. Yeah, no, good weekend. I think
It's good to see Spartan laughing once again. If anyone knows like the sort of stuff that he's been through, you know, emotionally, it's good to see him finally get his first event win on the board. The dress code a little bit too casual for me, from my good friend Richard Sims, but I'll let him off because, you know, he's been to space. Fair play, respect. He was actually the first ginger British man on the moon. All this all-known fact.
Letting me be here. I appreciate it.
thank you.
I look forward to
Pleasure
seeing
meeting
you all
you.
again,
Thank
Dave.
you so much.
It's always good to see.
Nice meeting you.
Good meeting you.
All right, though, on the real, like, no one can touch me in Shadowrun 1 versus 1. So, that, like I said, Shadow's pretty good at it.
We're not even in Halo
1 versus 1.
Killer Queen.
See, do you got Shen Panic Z out there somewhere or something like that? That's gonna just come up on the stage. What else you got up your sleeve, Slims? Slims.
Okay, a few things to dissect in this clip. First of all, when Karma leaves, like, let's mute his microphone. He's doing it at the right time when the graphic comes up. Why do we need to hear him put his headset down? It's really sloppy, and then there's like seconds of dead air, like no one's even talking over him putting the microphone down. Like, if it's not being muted, we need to fill that air with something. Like, we can't just be dead air while he walks off. Again, I get it's a bit of banter between old friends here, and fair enough, bring that up while he's still on the stage and maybe say, hey, you know, you still can't beat me in Shadowrun 1v1s. That's fine, like that. I don't mind a little comment here and there, but this, for me, this is talking about something completely irrelevant while we have a series layout between 2 really good teams. We should be talking about game type by game type. Who's the favorite? Who has the strong Nexus King of the Hill? Who maybe looks a little bit shaky on Slayer Zealot? Like, I understand, again, it's a grassroots season, but we should be doing our research on some of these teams that are coming up to these events so that we can go a little bit in depth and try and inform the viewer as to who should be expected to win this series based on these game types right here. I'm sure they did that later on after this, and again, I'm sort of cherry picking based on the clips available. But for me, it's frustrating to see this. It's frustrating to hear this, and I'm sure it's frustrating for other people to hear stuff like this constantly crop up in Halo broadcasts. Again, hopefully, when Infinite comes around, we start to get some more statistics on some of these teams so that we can start to delve into them. But, I mean, come on, man. At least let's talk about these game types. Let's talk about this series we're about to see.
Well, could you hear what's going on there?
See, banter like this. Oh, dude, his mic is muted. Dude, banter like that, completely fine. I would say, as a host at this point, you want to try and inform the viewer as to why this is happening, why you're covering up Walsh's Final Boss t-shirt. For those who don't know, obviously Karma, old Halo 2 player, used to play for Carbon, who were Final Boss's main rivals for championships. I'm sure Shaibe did that again, cherry picking examples from these clips, but I mean, his mic is muted anyway. This is the time to inform the viewer who may not know who Karma is, and to say that, you know, this is why this is happening. You know, just a short comment here and there would do wonders, because then the person at home, if they want to find out more about Karma, they want to find out more about Carbon, they can then go onto Google. They could go and research it themselves. I mean, that right there, I mean, we saw when he walks off, they don't mute it for when he puts it down. For it to not even be on for when he walks on, like, that's bad.
All on TikTok nowadays, doing little dance and stuff.
Dave,
so,
if you did
TikTok the stream.
if I see you doing TikTok.
Follow me.
I will forcibly remove myself from social media.
Just follow me. I got some funny ones.
Like what?
It's like you gotta relate to it. Sort of like, yo, isn't it crazy when your alarm goes off in the morning? And then like I put my hand over my face, like, oh, geez, I don't want to get for school.
I know I've been critical of Walshy in the past for doing this kind of stuff in game, but this is the perfect time for it because you have some time to kill. You have nothing on screen to reference. You have someone going to the bathroom, going to the toilet, doing whatever they're doing. If the producer brings up the game types by round, that's when you snap out of this kind of thing. But if you watch, I mean, they're just kind of just showing shots of both teams, and yeah, you can reference, oh, you can see Stella here's in the mood, but I mean, Walshy he's keeping this entertaining in this break.
You know where they are? They're downstairs. He gets the kill, and more importantly, they get the championship. This is incredible.
Dude, the pop off from Ace. First of all, how freaking good is it to see a Halo team actually celebrate when they win a tournament? This is no disrespect to Tox, but let's see some emotion, man. Like, let's see it. I mean, just look at Ace right here. Just watch him jump up off his seat.
He gets the kill, and more importantly,
I mean, that's what we want to see. We want to see this really. We want to see players act like this means something to them and that this is the culmination of their hard work, which is what we saw from Mantra in their pop-off. And it's what Halo needs. Halo needs personalities. Halo needs personalities to shine through. And that, for me, is a culmination, not only weeks, not only months, but years of hard work for some of these players. And, you know, the pop-off really personifies that. I mean, look at these guys.
they get the championship. This is incredible.
You'll love to see it. So that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I know some of you might have been expecting more gameplay clips for me to critique, but ultimately these were some of the top clipped videos on the Dreamhack Halo Twitch page, and I thought I would chime in with some of my broadcast experience and maybe talk about what we can do better to improve Halo broadcast in the future. If you agree with my points, if you disagree with any of them, please leave a comment down below. I love hearing from you guys. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.